And we're back for part 2 of Sonic Lost World, so now we're heading into Desert Ruins Zone. And as it's quite obvious, this is our desert level. Yes, desert level.
I'm disappointed in you incompetent fools. Like these. We don't care about your disappointment, Master. Do you care now?
Let's ask the Magic Conch.
Next time, bring better animals.
You know, those animals worked pretty well back in the Mega Drive days. I don't know what you're complaining about, man, but okay. So you probably noticed something with the full 3D levels. They're rather flat. And Desert Ruins Act 1 is a great example of this. If you're looking at the level ahead, there's very few of these like ramps and stuff. It's mostly flat. Which I think is what most people have problems with this game's level design for. Yeah, mind the cactuses, they hurt. A good example of an enemy that requires kicking to kill effectively. And giant rolling cactus balls. Okay. Now I can't remember if these showed up in a Windy Hill, but you collect all these from 5 to 1, you get an extra life. Pretty simple. Also another example of the kicker killing a load of enemies at once. Collect 500 rings, you can't ever have enough. Also, if this worm eats you, it's an insta-kill, no matter how many rings you have. The parkour getting its first proper use of wall jumping to get up a shaft. Yeah, getting onto walls can be a bit of a pain, as you can see here. But yeah, if you do that, you can take this alternate route up here and just skip some of the platforming there. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes the spin dash will get Sonic miles off the wall. Other times it'll just stop him dead in his tracks shortly after doing it. And yeah, in order to use the parkour, you have to hold the run button, which is ZR, I believe. And yeah, this game is I think the only Sonic game to have a run button. And that's another thing people don't like about it. But the thing is, there's some parts where it's best to not hold the run button, and that's something that a lot of people don't seem to get. Anyway, we'll get back to that tangent later. Eagle time! This wisp is, well, you fly. That's entirely it. You fly. Really nothing going on with that one. But yeah, the run button, if there's some points where people might feel the level design gets a bit, like, how am I trying to put this? A bit messy, would you say? Due to the fact that you're running around all over the place. That's the times where you did let go of the run button. Especially like we'll see on the 4th zone when you're on ice. Ice, it can be useful sometimes there to let go of the run button, so that Sonic doesn't skid all over the place. But we'll get to that in part 4. Can you find free 1-ups? You can never have too many. You said that about the rings. And yeah, the spin dash really is your best friend for getting up these ramps. Because running doesn't really give Sonic enough momentum. And yeah, if you crouch and then move the analog stick, Sonic does a random slow roll. Very Sonic 3D Blast, actually. And as you've seen already, these platforms will raise when you stand on them. And then go back down shortly afterwards. And yeah, touching the worm at all gets you hurt, as you saw, but only if it eats you is it an insta-kill. That's why this section was a little bit dangerous. And yet, these enemies from Chemical Plant work exactly the way they used to. So you can shake the analog stick to get yourself free. Which is something not many people seem to realise about those enemies in Sonic 2. Also, that thing I said earlier about this being the Resident Desert Zone, let's make that 2 acts be Desert Zones. We'll see more what I'm talking about once we leave this act. And I believe this is the final stretch of the level. This level is very simple, because most of it's just, well, half of it's just flat. And yeah, if you're on the darker coloured sand, you can't run, you go very slow. And these sinkholes are obviously bottomless pits. So, don't go down them. Another bell puzzle. I think this one's a red star ring, and yes, those are spikes. Spikes hurt. Captain Obvious strikes again. Do I actually go for this? Yes, I do, because I'm a massive kleptomaniac. I do believe if you don't hit the bell after a certain amount of time, it will disappear. And not give you a reward at all. One last set of giant fruit cactus things. And some dash panels. And there's our red castle. And I miss it miserably. As our reward for collecting rings, we get rings. That just gives you 10 rings if you use it. And a regular shield. Nothing like a good old shield every now and again. Even though, again, activating them could be useless. I'd just say annoying. So yeah, we went from desert, now we're going to have some beehives. Because, sure, the first overture. Given the boot.
You, that one. Go take care of that little pest. Who are you calling fat? You? Now, if you hurry and destroy Sonic, I've got an even bigger sandwich.
I think that is the Sonic Unleashed sandwich. Desert Ruin Zone Act 2. So yeah, hope you like Sonic 06's Mark Speed sections, because, well, we're running. We're running pretty damn fast. So yeah, this level is, for the most part, fairly simple. Just a matter of follow the trail of rings, and these bees just hold the attack and bounce off them repeatedly. Pretty damn simple. And this little enemy sludges up the screen. More annoyance than anything. So these enemies are actually quite useful for getting you back on track. If you end up, well, veering off track. Because yeah, if you run into a wall at this speed, well, you're gonna smack straight into it and die. Skydiving works exactly like in, I think Unleashed introduced it. Just hold the run button, you dive faster, let go of it, you dive slower. But yeah, what does this have to do with a desert? Like, the next level makes even less sense. And smack. I love the animation of Sonic just going going face first into a wall. But yeah, first effort to play through. I had to show that at some point because that is just the best animation in the whole game. Two little pathways here. If you go right, there's a red star ring, which is what I'm going for. There's also these free 1-ups. Very useful for grinding lives before the 100 ring patch. Oh, no, it's here that I was thinking of. There you go, right, and then you go left. Do not go right, otherwise you're going to smack straight to a wall. And also, what the hell is this thing? I take offense to that. So yeah, this boss, very simple. I think this is Zomon, I can't remember his name. But yeah, sends you flying off into the sky, skydive down, then he does this. Just rotates the face thing. Then, just give him a good bop with a charged homing attack. I do love the shocked expression there. Seriously, how does this fit in with a desert level? This makes no sense. So the way you can tell if the stage is going to rotate is if someone comes down pretty fast. Because if he does that, he's leaving himself open. And the battle's over. Yes, no dessert for you.
Power levels green or bot. Power levels stick. Extractor activated.
So this is going to be a major plot point in this machine here. Cubot being comedy relief.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Baby. I'm feeling stronger by the second. Levels fluctuating. Reaction unstable. Better shut it down quick, boss, or it will lock into overload. Shut it down.
So we know this machine has some flaws to it. That's going to come into play.
Right. The machine is unstable. We just want to borrow some of the planet's energy. We don't want to destroy it.
Still sticking to that mentality, Eggman. Actually makes kind of sense, because if you want to take over the world and you end up destroying the world, what's left to take over? So if that was in the trees, what's our next level going to be? A sugar-coated paradise. Yes, I don't even know. Welcome to Desert Ruins Zone Act 3. This level is really a big lipped alligator moment. It makes no sense. Like, it's just here, it's never brought up again. But it's actually an alright level for what it is. But it just doesn't look anywhere near as nice as Sweet Mountain did. So yeah, these enemies coming back from Sonic CD. If you homing attack them, that happens, so you have to give them a good old kick. Which will also destroy pretty much all of them. So a general rule of thumb, in a 2D section, if there's a few enemies in a line, booting them is usually the way to go. Case in point. Also, these motobugs are a pain to kill. Pretty simple red star ring to get there. It's the matter of getting up to this next star boss, which can be a pain, because, well, those motobugs don't really give you room to homing attack them. Also, yeah, those are totally half-eaten Oreos. Alternate path up here. Which I can't remember if this is just a shortcut or not, or if it's just for a red star ring, or... I don't know, it gives you a lot of rings. these little cannonballs. Just bounce off them. Maybe to collect a maniac again. I want my red star ring. It's in my path. I can grab it. Oh yeah. Now I'm hungry. I think this is going to be one of the few levels in this playthrough where I collect every red star ring. Because they're all pretty easy to get. And if you go down here, nice big healthy job lot of rings. So you just want to pretty much staircase off these and not have that happen. And you can easily just get to the capsule by doing that, but I want to go this way, because, again, red star rings. I want all the collectibles. And yeah, it is very possible to fly over that. So yeah, there's our resident oddball level out of the way. Let's get back to the desert, shall we? And Giant Twister. Because Giant Twister. So these RC vehicles, I'm not sure what the hell they do. I know a second player could do something with them, but I'm not exactly sure what. I've never used them. And you can send some over from the 3DS version. But again, I have no idea what they do. So therefore we will not be seeing the RC vehicles in this playthrough. That's a large sandwich.
One word of helpful advice: diet and exercise.
He's got a point there, Sonic.
Hey! Whoa!
I think I'll have you for dessert.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Yeah, right. Hey, I forgot the mustard. I'll be right back.
Rejected, Sonic. So, Desert Ruins Act 4. I hope you like auto-scrollers. Because we aren't going any faster than this.
You look like a giant blueberry. Oh, well, Susie. I wonder if those spines stick to my throat when I swallow them whole. You're small and fast, but I'm big and slow. Hey, why? You better not make fun of my size. It's hurtful.
Can you tell I have nothing to say about the Deadly Six here? Because some of them's not exactly been interesting. Anyway, another Wisp from Sonic Colors. The good old Drill Wisp. Again, disregard the touchscreen control advice, considering, well, just use analog sticks. The Sonic Colors Wisps actually had analog stick support from day one, it just didn't mention it anywhere. And it still doesn't mention the analog stick support at all, we just have to know it was patched in. So with Drill, if works pretty much exactly the same as Colors, just dig underground and then you can pretty much night it up. If you hold the run button, you drill faster, like you drill slower. Pretty simple stuff. Tink. Yeah, I just don't get that. You have to press A whenever you're done using a Wisp. That makes no sense. I love how that tornado just floats when it's over a bottomless pit. Does that make sense? Here's an example of a red starring that can be a pain. If you miss that upper pathway or miss a jump, then you ain't getting the red starring that's up there. And there's an example of the auto scroll fucking me over. So yeah, as you just saw, you can very easily hop out of those quicksand pits. Also, there's a lot of rings here. Like, I grabbed over 100. Word of helpful advice, don't do the mistake I just did. When someone slams down, jump. So then he randomly farts out a drill wisp. We gotta go after him. Do some daring jumps between some pieces of dirt. And there we go. I wonder if you can get crushed by that. So the parkour is actually kind of useful in this fight because you can climb up the walls and jump over them pretty easily. But yeah, another pretty simple boss.
We gotta go. It's dinner time.
So we've got one last cutscene to round this part out. Let's figure out what exactly is going on here.
I hone your abilities. I equip you with the most powerful mechs I can create. I even give you a giant sandwich. You still
Even after the giant sandwich, you disappoint, Eggman. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. The magic conjunctions imposes punishment on you.
I'm a compassionate man.
That shell looks like trouble.
Hold on a second.
And here's where things go wrong.
I think that thing in Eggman's hand is
If Tails is trying to tell you something, perhaps you should listen to him? Just a word of, just a suggestion. Listen to the genius.
It's a mistake to take your toys away.
When it's the only thing keeping 6 angry Zeti from controlling my mechs, you moronic hedgehog.
Betrayal.
Strike, brother. Make the fool pay for our abuse and enslavement.
Well, there goes that voice chip again. And some of Eggman's mustache.
I hate to run away from a fight, Tails, but I don't want to see you get fried.
not getting
Tails, you're more than capable of taking at least one hit. Oh, in Sonic 2, you were practically invincible.
Man, I should have listened to you, Tails.
Gotta love Eggman's goofy running animation in the background there. So the story's starting to progress, and we'll see a bit more of it in part 3, when we go into Tropical Coast Zone.